Hi everybody, I'm Jim D. Jr. from JDM Engineering. You're at our shop here in Freehold, New Jersey, where we got a couple of vehicles getting worked on this week for the ATCO NMRA event. We have this race event coming up this weekend, and we're trying to prepare some of our vehicles. So if you want to step out into our shop, I'll show you what we got going on. First, we'll just start here with Sean Mackin's 2005 Mustang GT. Sean brought his car to us pretty much when he first got it for a couple of upgrades. Sean came in, we did a Cook's exhaust system and a custom tune along with one of our air kits. Shortly after, he started attending Englishtown for Friday night and Saturday night testing tunes. He got hooked on the drag racing bug, and it quickly developed into a full-fledged 9-second drag car. Sean basically started with the Saleen supercharger, then he went to our built engine, and now we're fine tweaking the Saleen supercharger to make some big power for him. Right now, Sean's car makes around 600 horsepower at the tires. He's been 1020s at over 130 miles an hour with the built motor and the Saleen supercharger. Right now, we are getting it set up for him to run the ATCO NMRA event, so we're just getting it ready for competition. His car's still only legal to run as fast as a 10.00, but Sean likes to go fast, so we're going to try and get him down there as close as we can to without going too fast to break into the nines and run too fast for what his car's qualified for. We've got the car set up here with a new Odyssey battery after it sat all winter. We're also porting the upper lid to the supercharger. We have another one back on the bench that Sean, our mechanic, is porting. We're going to be putting that on the car and dynoing it tomorrow. He's made 580 at the tires. He should make a little over 600. We might have to put a little bit of weight in to slow his car down from running in the nines, but we may even try for a quick 9-second run Friday night in the test and tune session. But we'll see how it goes when we get to the track, and we'll report back with that on next week. Okay, we're out here in Inspector's Bay, where we've got one of our flagship vehicles, Don Justice's 2001 Lightning F-150. Don brought his truck into us a couple years ago after racing with us in the Fun Ford series for a couple upgrades and some tunes. Quickly afterwards, he decided he wanted to go a lot faster, so we built a 5.4 aluminum long block for him. Topped it off with a Whipple supercharger, ended up making around 700 horsepower, and that's where the truck sat for the last 3 years. Running in the low 10-second zone for competition. The truck's been 990s at over 130 miles an hour. Don's truck's here this week basically to get it race ready. We're changing out the fuel, changing out some spark plugs, and we're also upgrading his exhaust. He had aluminized 3-inch exhaust that we put on this truck about 3 years ago because aluminized piping was all we had for the 3-inch with the bends we needed. Well, we've since switched to a stainless system, so we converted Don's truck over here to stainless as some of his aluminized pipes were rotting out. We finished that up. We also got the truck prepared with new spark plugs. We're going to dyno it tomorrow and get them ready for the track. This is Don's first season running the NMRA series. He's a 3-time world champion with the Fun Ford Weekend Tough Truck class. Don had some pretty good competition down in Florida. He made it a couple of rounds, almost made it to the finals, or almost had a bye into the finals. This weekend, we really hope he goes a little bit further. We got him and Paul Gamino, our 2 tough guns out there, getting ready to run the event this weekend. Okay, over here in the front end of the truck, we're resurfacing his brake rotors and repacking his wheel bearings and re-greasing them as well. Don put a pretty big wear on these things last season. The brakes, don't really hold up to a 4,500-pound truck trying to stop from 135, 140 miles an hour all the time. Especially as many runs as he makes. He makes on average 200 to 300 runs a year with this truck, and the last time this was done was probably 3 or 4 years ago. So he's got quite a bit of passes on these brakes. They sure needed it. We want him to stop this weekend, so we're going to change these out for him and get them all hooked up before the event. Okay, well, this week we are trying to get Chris Matters' vehicle ready for the event this weekend. We have somebody who's trying to use the car while Chris is overseas right now fighting for the country. Chris basically left us the car all winter to perform some upgrades. We still have a couple of things left that we want to do to the car, but this weekend, while it's in good running condition, we're going to try and get it down the track for use for one of our other teammates racing this weekend. Okay, we're over here with my Mustang where, as you can see, it's still lacking an engine. We put a new motor together. We're putting a new motor together for it right now with just the last remaining hours left before the race. It really is crunch time. But what we've been doing is working on some really cool projects with the cylinder heads for my car. We're changing a little bit of the spring design. It requires a lot of modification to the cylinder head. We've gone through a couple of sets of cylinder heads this week trying to make sure everything was perfect. But we just got a set back this morning that are right. We got everything to spec the way we wanted it. Now we're going to assemble the long block here today and hopefully have it stuffed in the car and running by tomorrow evening. Now it's a really tall order. I don't know if we're going to be able to make it this weekend. We're trying to make it happen. But as far as it goes, when it comes down to it, the car's going to be back together very shortly and it has 9-second capabilities. It had 9-second capabilities. Now it should run even deeper into the 9s. Okay, we're over here with Mike Del Sante's 2008 Mustang GT California Special. Mike's had his car with us pretty much the whole race season, just preparing it, advancing it, making it a little bit faster and faster for each event. Mike's still running on a stock engine. That's the unique thing about this car. As you can see, he's got the full carbon fiber Saleen racing seats, 6-point roll bar. He is running the Saleen Super Shaker supercharger, running about 13-14 pounds of boost with a set of comp cams in the engine. Mike's car makes around 520 horsepower at the tires. He's been 1030 at 131 miles an hour. Now this is one of the fastest ETs for the stock engine to date. We've seen guys go as fast as 1018, that was Dyno Joe, but this car has been 1030s on the stock motor. He's also got the stock transmission, and Mike's going to run it in the Super Stang class this weekend with us. Last year in competition he did pretty well, going a couple of rounds in several events. This year he looks to pick it up where he left off and do the same thing, if not even a little bit better. So look out for Mike at ATCO this weekend. He's some tough competition. Okay, we had two special guests come in this week, two really good friends of ours, Paul Gamino and Dyno Joe. Dyno Joe brought up his buddy Lloyd as well, who comes to all the races with Dyno Joe this year and years past. But they drove all the way up here from Texas. They get the long haul trip award. They drove up from Houston. Took them probably about 25 hours, and they're going to race with us here this weekend at the NMRA race. They've got a couple of vehicles that they're going to be running. Paul's got his 97 F-150 we're getting ready. Dyno Joe's got his Mustang. Paul's also going to be racing our Sterling car again this year. So we got some things going on, some really cool things and some really cool guests here this week. It should be a really awesome weekend. Okay, well that's the end of the show for this week. I want to thank everybody again for stopping in. If you have any questions about the vehicles or the parts you saw today, you can check us out on the web at teamjdm.com or call us anytime in the office at 732-780-0770. Be sure to check back with us next week for results on the ATCO event and wish us good luck. Everybody have a great weekend.